Mark! Mark!
I'm wired in.
How about now? Still wired in? You issued 24 million new shares of stock.
You were told if new investors came along.
How much were your shares diluted down to? How much were the others?
It was a business decision that needed to be made.
You diluted my shares down to 0.03%. We started this company together.
And you signed the papers.
You set me up.
You're gonna blame me because you were the business head of the company and you made a bad business deal with your own company?
It's gonna be like I'm not a part of Faded. Is this because I froze the account?
I was not gonna let you parade around in your ridiculous suits pretending like you were head of the company.
Sorry! My part is at the cleaners, along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops, you pretentious douchebag. I'm not signing those papers.
We'll get those signatures.
Tell me this isn't about me getting into the Phoenix. You did it! I knew you did it! You planted that story about the chicken!
I didn't plant a story about the chicken.
You had me accused of animal cruelty. And I'll bet what you hated the most is that they identified in me as the co-founder of Faded. You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything. Let's go back to a time when me and Mark were still friends and before Faded even began.
Settle down, everyone. We're about to begin.
All right, guys. Welcome back to Faded. I'm here with Johan.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah.
That's
And
Horace.
I'm Horace. You just saw our perspective characters get into a serious argument.
I can't take you seriously with this low tone of energy, man. Like, I get you're trying to match the tone of the episode, but like, man, you're coming at it with
This
a single
works.
note.
You know, now we bring it back. That's it.
All
all
right,
we
we're back
needed.
in, man. I'm letting you do that boring shit in the beginning, and then I'll fucking cancel you off.
Yeah, that's totally boring.
Hi, welcome back to the episode.
Yeah,
No,
this
no,
is
man.
a depressing episode.
This
because
is it's a deviation from our usual course. Usually we come with like happy tones, jokes, bang. This one we're like, nah. It's time
Yeah.
to hit the serious notes.
there's no like fun, uplifting, or like music.
We're not here to
tones.
make you laugh.
Yeah, this one is a serious pod.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, so we're just trying something new. For those who haven't been here before, tell them.
Welcome back.
What are we?
Oh, wait.
What?
If you've never been here before, welcome back.
They
No.
didn't hear any of the counselor's speech, so
No,
we
of
kind of got
course.
to describe to
That's
them.
fair. That's fair. Guys, if this is the first episode you're tuning in, thank you for joining us
Yeah.
here at Faded. What we do here is we have stories in between our podcasts, and
Yeah.
stories, the lessons about life, and you know the troubles of our current life, and then but in a cool story that and then we get to talk about here at the podcast.
Of course.
So the beginning piece you heard is the beginning of our two characters that you are going to meet throughout the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We got
Mark.
and Eduardo.
Yeah. So you remember the Hispanic name, but you don't remember the white one.
I'm a racist.
Hold
what can
on.
I say?
That is
What can I say?
high-key racist.
What can I say? Except you're welcome.
Especially since Eduardo is a less-known name than Mark.
Wait, is it even Eduardo? I thought it was
It is
something
Wardo.
else.
He says Wardo.
Wasn't it? Oh, I was confusing it for the country of Ecuador. When I was reading
Okay,
this.
he's not racist. He's just really stupid.
And there's no cure for stupidity.
There is really no cure for
I already asked the
stupidity.
doctor.
Yeah. We should probably talk a little bit about ourselves. So what you been up to this week?
Nah, man, I've been chilling. Just working on like families visiting from Florida, which is nice. Taking care of the house, taking care of the third co-host we have here, Apollo. By the way, I'm the only one who take care of this third co-host. The other co-host doesn't care about this third co-host. So I'm just saying, like, you know, this is one of the many things in real life where we got to argue about new co-hosts.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's it called? Foreshadowing for the future. Makes no sense to you guys right now. I get that. But personally, my life has been uneventful. What about you, man? What about you? How's life been treating you?
This week was my sister's graduation from middle school. It's not like the biggest thing in the world, but it's weird to see like when you're in middle school, it feels like it's so important to go to like a middle school graduation. I've seen a lot of posts online where it's just like middle school and like elementary school graduation is like useless. Like,
what?
have you seen like posts like that where it's just like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, you're not really
That's
doing
ridiculous.
anything.
I think
mean, yeah, because what's the difference between high school? I don't know. I'm not a fan of that theory. You know?
Neither am I, because I think graduations, I don't know. You know, I argue to say graduations really aren't for the person doing the graduating, but more the people who are there to take photos and to celebrate this moment.
For sure.
Yeah, because they haven't been with you through all of high school or middle school, so this is the moment where they get to say, wow, you really finished it. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, you actually did go to school. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you just played hooky, you know.
Gosh, yeah, I thought you were fucking around the whole time, man.
Who knew you actually go to school? Graduations are long.
Yeah.
Like, they are really long, drawn out, boring.
Bro, don't get me started, man. When they start going through all the names,
Yeah.
how many Smiths you got to hear,
Yeah.
how many Patels you got to listen to, how many Rodriguez's are, Jesus, I'm like, guys.
Graduations just get worse and worse throughout the years. Like, middle school graduation, like, you got a small class. Then high school, you got a bigger class. And then college, bro. Don't even get me fucking started on a college graduation.
Bro, I didn't even have mine, okay? So actually, yes, don't get me started, okay? Pandemic struck just as I finished college.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't have a graduation.
You're lucky.
We had some online bull that... I retract my earlier statement. It is for the people, because I wish I would had my graduation.
Why?
Because it's like momentous occasion, man. I finished college, you know what I'm saying? All busting my hours and hours and hours, busting my ass off trying to get this degree, and with good grades. And I don't even get to like walk across and get the photos.
Yeah, but it's like you just celebrate with your fam, you know? Like, isn't that the whole thing? Like, your fam throws you a little party, like your friends who you care about, and that's really just it. Because everyone else, like, you know, there's some like egoistic thing about graduation, you know? Like, definitely, like,
I think there
you
is
want everyone to see you, but like, honestly, you're not that important. Fucking 500 other people are graduating with you, bro. I'm sorry. It's really not that big of a fucking deal. It's just like, look at me. But you're in like a sea of like so many goddamn people. I don't even know who you are.
you get your 10 seconds of main character time when you're on that stage.
You don't even get 10 seconds. You get like...
That's my 10 seconds.
You get like, literally, they say your name, then you like shake people's hands, and then after you get like a 1 second like thumbs up or like something. And some people just put their heads down, or it's so awkward that they just like walk right down. Some people trip and fall, you know.
There's that one guy who tries to do a backflip but fails. He busts his ass. Everyone keeps talking about it for years.
That's main character energy right there. It's just like, why you... I don't know. If you can do a backflip, that's pretty cool, though. I never thought about it like that. I thought if you could do a backflip fucking on stage, do it, dude. That's pretty cool.
Unless you failed, then it's not pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we're never going to forget it.
Funny stuff that happened at the middle school graduation. First of all, I noticed that middle schoolers have no idea how to wear heels, right? So they were like...
There were girls wearing high heels.
And it's like they don't know how to wear it. So they were like... ice skating, you know? Like, they weren't lifting their feet or anything. It was like the weirdest walk in the world. Like, you know, like literally, like just imagine.
They're wobbling and shit.
No, just fully imagine like your feet are like, they were literally just sliding their feet forward because they like, I don't know. It was that was dumb. Like, why
Hey, it takes skill to walk in those motherfuckers.
Yeah, but why put on heels and not practice it before the graduation? You know you're going to be walking. You literally are going to be walking. And then the funniest part is when they were going down the stairs and up the stairs, it was like 10 times worse. Because now they're like holding both handrails on both sides, like literally almost falling. It was just...
and they're in their head like, don't fall.
Like,
They spent all week practicing, and then they get to this moment.
They did not practice.
And
I can tell they did not practice.
They're looking like a little baby deer, like just newborn, just trying to figure out how to walk and shit.
It was so bad. And not to mention, they were like fully leaning forward because I don't think they know, like... You know, like, obviously your feet are, like, elevated. Your heels are elevated, right? So people aren't used to, like, straightening their back. So they're, like, leaning forward. So the posture is all off. It was off.
These poor girls, man. They try to have their 10 seconds of main character energy.
And it was just terrible.
And ruined by some high heels.
Like, imagine, like, seeing the videos after, is that how I looked? And then just crying.
I mean, it's pretty tough to walk in those things, you know?
How do you know?
I can't.
You tried them on?
It's just pretty tough. That's all I know. I'm saying.
Kind of
A friend.
There.
Yeah. A friend of mine. He was trying it, and as a guy, and big feet. So.
Anyways, another thing that happened: some lady fainted.
Some lady fainted.
Pretty sure she was pregnant, but I don't want to say she was pregnant. What the fuck? She's not gonna hear this. I think she was pregnant.
Is that
motherfucker calling me out right now?
He fainted in the bleachers, and like everyone was looking over, and I was just like, what the hell was happening? And like people were just like standing around. They didn't stop the graduation or anything. It just went on for like 20 minutes where like there's a group of like 20 people huddled in a corner somewhere, not even paying attention because like this lady fainted, right? And like they're just continuing with the graduation. And then while she's fainted, some kid next to her literally starts projectile vomiting.
What the fuck?
He projectile vomits in the bleachers, right? And then he gets downstage, and this is when I see him because, like, I didn't see him projectile vomit or whatever, and I couldn't see because all those people were standing up. And then he gets down there, right? And now he's, like, on the main stage, like, getting walked across by, like, some teacher because, you know, he's obviously sick. And straight up projectile vomits a second time, like, through his hands, bro. Like, he covered his hands and, like, fully just,
fucking way, bro. You're talking about on the main stage. Everyone's
like,
walking across to get their diploma.
Like, at the end of the bleachers.
At the end of the bleacher, okay.
Like, there's like a 10 feet walkway to like walk across, like horizontally.
Okay.
You know, and he just fully projectile vomited there, bro. And it was just like so. And he like shook his head. He was just like, nah, I can't do it. Like, it was so like, this is mortifying shit. You know, like we're talking about main character energy. People's 10 seconds of. This is like, I remember this more than I remember anything else. I'm telling you.
Oh
like,
my God.
Like,
He wasn't even one of the kids
fails.
graduating, man.
I remember the fails. I don't care. I don't even remember seeing my sister walking, bro. I literally only remember. And then, like, after the lady who fainted finally gets up, this was after the vomit too. Like, she's like gets put into a wheelchair, and like she straight up, like when she's getting pushed across, like the main stage or whatever, like the 10 feet walkway I was talking about, like she straight up burrowed her head into her hands because she was definitely embarrassed.
No shit.
She was like fully like covering her face, and it was so. It to me it was so funny, but like just imagining like how she feels, which is just like, imagine this is her daughter.
On the inside.
Imagine this is her daughter, and she's just like, I can't believe I'm doing this on my daughter's like graduate. Like, I was like, oh.
I'm sure the daughter was just like, oh, my mom's okay, whatever. But like internally, she was just like, that damn bitch. She ruined my fucking night,
bro.
This is my time for my graduation.
It was so. Like, that was that stuff made it for me, you know? That made it, like, I was just sitting there for the, like, I was waiting for people to trip. I was looking for the fails just because, like, nothing else really matters, bro. I don't want to see, like, the same fucking kids do the same goddamn handshakes 100 times in a row.
You
like,
still got me messed up that middle school girls are wearing high heels.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. I got a sister that's in the 9th grade. Well, she's going into the 9th grade now.
Yeah.
And you know what? I could see her wearing high heels or like attempting to. Like they think they're big shit and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna try the high heels on."
Yeah.
Actually, that kind of makes sense now when I think about that one. But dude, I feel bad for. I feel like middle school is not. Yeah, middle school is not that important for graduation.
Really?
It's a
like,
small class.
Also,
like they don't really bust out all the stops in the location and the grounds. Like there's some cheap gowns that you got to give back.
Yeah,
at least
you're
it was
in the
mine.
high school like gymnasium, just like it's like
in the wrong
super,
school.
Like,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like it's like super meshed. It's like super iffy, you know, like the whole thing. Not to mention, like the production value was fucking terrible, dude. Like the first,
they got no CGI or anything.
No, the first speech from like the principal or whatever, like the mic wasn't on. I'm being dead ass. The mic wasn't on, and like all you heard was like, and I'm sitting there like, hello, like what? And the speaker that was supposed to be on was just sending like this really annoying ass humming or like buzz, like bee, like bzzz, and I was losing my goddamn mind for the first 10 minutes, bro. I was just like, bro, does no one else fucking hear this? Am I going insane? Like, why do I not hear this guy? Am I deaf? Like, I was like
I'm fucking dead.
Like, this is a point where I just go fucking deaf or something. I don't know. And then like it cut out like the valedictorian speech. The chick like didn't hear her. I could not hear what she was saying, bro. Like, also valedictorian speeches are always so generic. I want
It has to be.
no, it
Because
doesn't, man.
the-
It's
the-
like that. I've heard
the
this thing. I've heard this thing. Like I swear it was the copy and paste of my graduations. Like I swear
Yeah.
to God, that's exactly how it fucking sounded like. Like I want to thank this guy. I want to thank the staff and the community, and like thank you for my like, bro. Why didn't you say something like cool?
Because you can't be creative on those things. The president, the fucking principal reads them, and they're like, "Oh, I like this piece. I don't like this piece." And a lot of principals like to be hands-on on
So it's not even like a valedictorian speech, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the thing. They could be as hands-on as they want. You're fucking graduating. Switch the speech up last minute. What the fuck are they gonna do?
She went to Chat GPT and typed in high school,
100%.
middle school graduation
It is
valedictorian
what it sounded
speech.
like. That is exactly what it
And
sounded
is what
like.
she read.
The only like different kind of difference was like, oh yeah, you know, we ought to struggle through. We're the class of fucking what do you call it? Online school or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah, bro. Like I've heard this like a million times already. Like we get it. Like you went through school online. Who the fuck cares, bro? Tell me something cool. Like give me a story about your life or something that's funny. I don't know. Like
Wasn't that like 2 years ago or 3 years
bro,
ago now?
but it's like my main thing about the valedictorian speech. It's like an okay speech, but it has nothing to do with the valedictorian. It's not. It doesn't show any of the person's character. You know, it doesn't show what they specifically went through. They're talking about like the whole class in general. But I don't know. Valedictorian speeches should be about like that's where the main character energy.
That's what
I
would make
but
sense.
There is no main character energy there. It's just like we did this, we struggled, No, you're the fucking valedictorian. You did 10 times more than anybody else, bro. Please tell me like something you struggled with.
That's what I'm saying, dog. That's the edits that the principal likes to do.
Like, that's some bullshit. Like yo,
because it's about us. We did this together. They're just
but
like
you know how
the
hard it
figurehead
is to be
and
a valedictorian.
spokesperson.
You
I
know?
know.
Like you know how much more
I don't
mental
know.
struggle.
But I've seen.
But yeah, the mental struggle someone has to go through. You know, our valedictorian. To be honest, our valedictorian speech was kind of like it was kind of like that. I don't know if you remember for our high school.
Was it Brian?
No, it was Brian was the
second place.
Second place. But it was the girl who was just like, yeah, I had no friends. My parents would tell me to go. My parents would actually tell me to go out and play, but I would be like, no, I need to study. Like it's like you don't remember that speech?
It's vaguely like as you're saying that, it starts to come back.
Yeah.
But
it was just like
it was
first of all,
kind of depressing.
I never saw that chick once in my life.
I don't remember her name.
They called her up. I looked at her. I was just like, who the fuck is this? Like, I went to school with her for 4 years. I've never seen this person in my life.
Don't remember second place.
Not even in the whole second place. I saw him everywhere, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
Like I clowned on this guy. Like I clowned on everybody. I'm in like 2 classes. But yeah.
Damn, I'm really not remembering her name right now.
Why would you?
I probably had a class with her or something like that.
Maybe.
I knew some of the smart kids.
Maybe. Even if I had a class with her, I don't think I would remember from what she was saying, you know?
I don't have any friends.
Maybe she was saying stuff like she wanted to, like she regretted. Like she was talking a lot about regret.
Maybe the president, I keep saying president. Maybe the principal should have been more hands-on on that speech.
No. It was a good speech.
Should have thrown in some more wheeze in there.
That was it. Like, yeah, it was like semi like depressing and like off-putting, right? But once again, it was from the heart, you know. Like,
That's true.
And she was talking like what she was saying had meaning, you know. Like, yeah, some people aren't gonna pay attention. They're gonna be like, "Why the fuck is she talking about this right now?" Right? But at the end of the day, she went through all this. She deserves to get this time. She deserved the time.
That's for sure.
To say whatever the fuck she wanted, bro. She wanted to go up there and say fuck 6ix9ine. She could go ahead and fucking do that.
That would have been a savage graduation speech.
All right. Let's make way for the introduction.
On to the next.
Let's go.
Wow, you're here early.
Yup. Let's get rolling. I got a bunch of ideas flowing. I'm overflowing.
Okay, you should slow down. We should get to know each other better.
I know you. I've seen your podcast series, and I think you're changing the game.
Thank you. I feel like I was missing a piece, and I came here to find it. I didn't know I'd run into a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And I think I know what that missing piece is. Let's get started and really discuss this. It really is fate that we met up. Although it wasn't fate. I came across Mark's podcast and knew what he had was special. I had made my own podcasts in the past, but they never caught any steam. I knew with Mark, I can make what he had 10 times better. So I set it up. I set up the camp's partnering system so that me and Mark would be partners. I wanted a taste of that success, but it ended up being one of the biggest mistakes I would make in my life.
Boys and girls, you guys don't even understand the kind of heart attack I just had right now.
I didn't have much of a heart attack.
I was sweating some big motherfucking bullets, dude. So you just heard the previous transition. Yo, great. You know, you heard it. That's fantastic. But not 5 minutes ago, I was freaking the fuck out because my hard drive decided, yeah, I'm just going to delete this freaking Icebreaker and, you know, they don't even need it. So
yeah,
we're fine.
Apparently the file was corrupted. And so I don't know if you guys know anything about tech, but Joe on here, he records and puts everything onto a hard drive with no backup on any other computer. Which I don't know. No.
Whoa. That's blasphemy, okay?
You just
put some respect on my name, all right? I sometimes do backups on my computer.
No.
I got like the first 3 episodes.
Listen, we have like this laptop with 500 gigabytes, which is specifically for the podcast, yet there's nothing fucking on it, and everything is just stored on this hard drive, which can easily be corrupted and broken and whatever, right? Like, this is so we obviously did get the transition back, but in my eyes, this is 100% a sign that we need something backups.
We do.
Things need to be saved on the computer, bro. I have like stuff saved on like 3 different. I have my Minecraft world on 2, like my previous like Minecraft worlds from like when I was like 13 on 3 different sources. Okay, 2 different hard drives in my computer. In an old computer.
Oh, Mr. Fancy over here.
And this is for a Minecraft world that I'm never probably ever going to use ever in my life. Like, it's just there as a memento, you know? I have my old computer that I bought when I was, like, that my parents bought when I was 12 that is still sitting there with all of that stuff in it. You know?
Jesus Christ.
And even
man,
when
no.
I get rid of that computer, I'm taking the hard drive out, I'm keeping it.
I got like PTSD with storage, okay? Because I had a laptop that only had like 200 gigs or something like that, super small. Yeah. So I was like, and I needed that laptop for all of college. So I was Mr. Conservative. I was like, I don't need it, we get rid of it. I don't need it, we get rid of it. And so I don't want to save things and fill up the hard drive. Now I'm sweating because, and this computer too, the computer that I used to edit on, it's already full. With shit, like the main drive, there's like the SSD, and then they have the hard drive. SSD's faster, guys. For those who don't techie people, that's just full already. So now I gotta take things. I gotta move to the hard drive. I don't have space anywhere. Okay.
You have space on the laptop.
Fuck the laptop. What if we lose the laptop?
Okay, yeah. You're going to lose the laptop, but you're not going to lose the hard drive. Also, not to mention, you only need to store it temporarily simply because when these episodes go out, everything gets deleted anyways if you want to delete it, you know? Like, for YouTube videos or, like, gaming videos that I used to just, like, record, like, I would literally just record it, edit everything, and then as soon as it's put on YouTube, delete. Like, delete everything. Like, I don't give a fuck.
What? What if you need it back? You know what I'm saying?
It's
like, what do you got to look back through it? You know what I'm saying? You don't know.
YouTube. It's literally on YouTube. YouTube is like, first of all, ridiculous. You should also technically just straight up just post these on a fake backup account on YouTube.
Yeah, that's
realistically, like, because then it's just there in the void.
We got it on Google Drive, so it's already on the cloud.
Oh, was this one on the cloud?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
But this transition wasn't either. This isn't done. How am I supposed to back up something that's not even finished yet? We are actively recording this episode. Well, how the biggity fudge am I supposed to already upload this on Google Drive?
Keep it on the laptop. I want you to pull up how much space is on that laptop right now.
Okay, let's see right now.
Storage. Let's see. Type in storage. If it says anything above 100 gigabytes, bro, you're done. You're done. Like, what are you downloading on there?
Drum roll, please.
That's taking up so much goddamn space.
We have 476 gigs.
Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
We have 416 left.
You're actually annoying. You're actually annoying. I knew that. Like 400 gigabytes.
We might fill it up. You don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna fill it up.
These Audacity files are getting kind of loud.
No, it's probably going to fill up like. I'm saying 10 episodes take 10 gigabytes.
It's great we don't have video yet, cause these are so small files.
I know.
Audacity files are so tiny.
Audio files.
They're just audio files.
And
super
you
tiny.
Lost one.
I know, and I'm so sad about it, man.
Anyways.
But it's okay because we're okay now. We have it back, so that matters. And the audience loved it, so that makes me happy. And you loved it too, right?
Sure. We're pushing through it.
No,
We're getting through.
we're getting through it, man. But this is the first time it's ever happened, so it actually is a scare that I
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna back it up on the computer just because play it safe.
Yeah.
But that's boring. So.
You should back up. You should literally just take everything that's on the hard drive, put it on the laptop for now.
But people
not
might
living
steal our
anywhere else.
information though.
From the laptop?
Yeah, like what if they take my laptop and then they have all of our recordings and then they start posting these podcasts without our knowledge?
That's perfect.
What do you mean that's perfect?
That's 100% perfect. That's
They're
how
gonna be stealing from us.
South Park made their comeback. Come on.
They're gonna be stealing from us, okay? Can't let that happen.
Dude, it's literally our voices. What are they going to do that's gonna be so...
hey, we're in the future now with AI generation's a serious thing, okay? Have you seen the new season of Black Mirror?
No. I don't watch Black Mirror.
What? Why not? It's an amazing show. You got to watch Black Mirror. Anyway, there's one
About it.
There's one episode where the lady's like her life is being published on Netflix the day after it happens. And it's a cool episode. You got to watch it.
Yeah.
But they could do that shit, bro. There's AI now, man. They're going to take our voices. They got plenty of it on the hard drive in the computer. They could AI copy our voices and then just type in the chat whatever they want to hear. Boom. They'll start producing these episodes. And now we're asked out because they stole our podcast idea.
Maybe.
Yo, I don't think you're really
That'd
thinking
be
this
really
through,
weird if
man,
that
all right? This is a very serious issue right now.
Keep going through these weird issues of yours. Just so you don't want to save stuff. You know, it's too much work.
We got to make sure it's in the right place. You know
know,
what?
I
We're going to
hope-
save all this.
I hope these files get corrupted now.
How dare you wish that? You better knock on some wood, bro. What are you,
Hell
right,
no.
This is blasphemy you're speaking of.
If that's what it takes to learn your lesson, you know. Some people do. My sister was asking me last time. She was just like, no. I told my sister, I was just like, you know, like if someone wants to do something stupid, you should let them. Like it's better if someone breaks their arm and learns from it, you know. And she was just like, that makes no sense. You want people to break their arms so they learn? I'm just like, yeah, because like then you're clearly not gonna fucking do it again.
I agree with you,
Dude,
especially with kids. Like if you ever have kids around, like just let them fall. Let them make the mistake.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be hovering over them and worrying about them, one, you're stressing yourself out. But
You're
two,
stressing them out.
you're stressing them out. And three, they're not gonna learn.
Yeah. You're just giving them anxiety, you know, and stuff. When really they should just like, you know, like do stuff, get hurt, and then be like, okay, you know, let me like
Not do that again.
Let me take it back a little, you know, like this is clearly an issue or whatever. I don't know, you know. Anxiety is a big problem, right?
Yeah.
And then so is. I like learning from big mistakes. Like I feel like it's the best thing because that's like what human life is in general. Like most of the time when you try to tell somebody something, they really they just don't listen. You know, like a lot of times when you try to tell, like if I'm telling you something and I'm just like, yo, don't do this. I had a bad experience doing this. You're gonna be like, yeah, okay. But I'm me, you know, and you're still going to go out and do it. If I'm like, yo, man, I'm not going to ride a motorcycle. Like a lot of my close friends, dude, they've like gotten really bad accidents. I don't think you should buy one. You're going to be like, yeah, I'll take that into consideration. But in your life, you haven't had those experiences. So you're still going to go through with it until it happens. You know, like that is literally life. Like you learn from your own experiences, not other people's experiences.
They don't have the same level of resonance. Like even this could be your like role model, your mentor. They'll still give you a piece of advice. You're like, wait, let me try it just to see.
Yeah,
because you don't know.
You have to.
You don't
try
know.
it.
You
Yeah,
haven't been
have
in
to
their
try it.
shoes. You have to give it a shot. And then you really understand like after that moment.
This just brings up a thought. Like this is something specific. Like when reading books, a lot of the time, like if you're reading like any like knowledgeable books or anything, like let's say like Atomic Habits, right? If you're not actually like applying those techniques into your real life, like yeah, you could read the book and be like, man, these are like great topics. These are like great, like there's great stuff for me to do. But if you don't like apply it and like actually try it, you never like it's never going to like you're just reading to read. You know, you're not actually reading to actually learn, and you're not learning anything. You're legitimately not learning a thing because you're not actually full on trying it. I like throwing myself into like the full on thing, you know, instead of like easing into like instead of like tiptoeing around it. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like you 100% have to try the stuff, and then it'll stick better.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly, because it'll you get the chance to actually like cement the idea in your brain.
Yeah.
It's so important for everything, yo. Even if you don't do homework at school, you're not gonna learn the lesson.
Yeah.
If you didn't put in the fucking work. That's where you
100%.
actually learn it.
Like, I could read the Atomic Habits and I could go around and I could be like I could tell other people about the stuff that I learned from Atomic Habits, but I don't do any of it. But I could go ahead and not apply any of that knowledge to myself, and it's just like
$1,000,000%. I could regurgitate that information for you for the next 48 hours, but after that, I'm gonna delete it because I didn't really need it. It didn't save in my brain, so because I didn't actually do anything with it. That's like literally got me through all of high school.
Yeah.
I just sit there, listen to the teacher, hold the information for 24 to 48 hours until the next test showed up.
Yeah.
Didn't do the homework, and then did well on the test.
You think that's what you think school is what kind of cemented this into us, or like
million, bajillion, quadrillion%? It's kind of like I think where the American education system fails. It's like we need a new approaches of doing like hands-on approaches with the topics.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. It's not like an easy solution because everybody learns in different ways.
Yeah.
And everyone needs different hands-on, situations in order for them to learn the subject. So
I
don't even blame the teachers or the system. It's just, but it's where we're failing.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while. We need a class about how to learn. Like, it needs to be like learning techniques. Like that stuff needs to be taught, simply because so many teachers try to do it, but like they all have like different methods. Like, you'll have one specific teacher who's just like, I want you to take specific notes in my class. I want you to write down every little thing I write down on the board. And then there'll be another teacher who literally, like, I had a biology teacher who said, write down everything I say. And then my physics teacher said, no, just listen to what I say. You don't need to write anything down. I don't want you writing while I'm talking. I want you to listen. And it's just like, why are the teachers so like back and forth? Like, it's because the teachers know that we don't know learning techniques. They're trying to teach us learning techniques like their way. There should literally just be a class that teaches these kids like, hey,
what's their best way?
No, not what's their best way, but like all of the specific ways to learn. And then like there's a lot of specific things that kids just don't do, like because let's say there's a test coming up, right? I'm just whiffing it, like, on how to learn it, and how to study. I'm whiffing it. Everyone in the school system, unless they're like taught by their parents, like, hey, yeah, this is how I learn. Like, we're just whiffing it, like, and then we just come up, like, for me, like, everyone around us, we probably have different ways of studying. Like me, repetition, like,
fuck that.
I will read everything 8 times over because guess what? That's just what happened to work for me. Is it the best way? I know it's not the best way now, but it's just
not the best way for me as an individual.
Exactly. But it's just what happened to what I happened to do, and it's literally the worst. Like, not the worst way, but it's like one of the worst ways to like study. And like, you probably have a different one. Like, what do you do?
Bro. So what I do is, but before I tell you what I do, I got a funny story.
Okay.
My mom used to try to do the repetitions with me. I remember I fucking sucked at spelling.
Yeah.
So back in middle school, when I needed to pass a spelling test, my mom would give me a giant bag of quarters and be like, you're going to spell the word out in your head, and you're going to put one quarter, take it out of the bag and put it out of the bed until that bag is empty. Then you put all the quarters back and you go to the next word.
Yeah.
I got a D on that test. I'm more like I need to hear it from, like, especially with subjects like biology, physics, where there's concepts.
Yeah.
I need to hear a teacher explain it to me. For some reason, I'm really receptive when someone explains something to me. Like, I'll be able to remember it in my head, and then I need a visual cue to like that's the mental image I need to remember that information. So if we're talking about sea turtles or whatever, then I'll let the teacher talk about sea turtles all she wants. I think of a picture of a sea turtle, and then everything she said is in that picture of the sea turtle. So I think of the sea turtle in the test, and then the information comes back to me.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more like, I don't know, like imagery. Visual and explaining. Like, I need a person explaining it to me.
Exactly. But
I can't read it.
But you had to, like, here's the thing. There was so much like trial and error for you to figure that out. Like, you know how many literally you failed the test. Like, you know how many tests does a kid have to fail before they figure out, hey, studying is actually kind of easy, Like, there's probably, I'd say, 90% of the kids that do bad in school do bad simply because they don't know how to do it correctly.
100 bajillion
Because they were never taught to do it correctly. Not everybody has like parents who want to teach them, or like not everybody has like self-tutors or anything, you know? And then they just got to sit there and be like, oh, I got to figure out how to study for this test. Wait, I don't want it, like, it's too difficult, and then they just don't do it because they don't know what the right way is, right? But, like, why is there not just a class, or, like, why are we not taught in elementary school or middle school how to fucking study for tests? Like, to actually pass the classes. Do they want people to fail? Like, it makes no sense. It makes
we have
no goddamn
money.
sense.
We have no money. We already have professionals in education.
Yeah.
They figured out how to do the best way of teaching. But we have no money, no resources, no people, shitty-ass work environment. Nobody wants to become a teacher. My dream job is to become a teacher.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it because it wasn't going to pay dick, and I knew I was just going to end up hating it because I'd feel so unaccomplished.
Yeah.
To see so many kids walk away from your class, like, completely ill-prepared for the exam I'm about to give them, even though I've tried and bust my ass off. But
Yeah.
as a teacher, you don't have enough resources to actually get the lessons across.
Yeah.
You don't have the support from managers or supervisors to be able to teach your students. And lastly, every kid learns different. All the kids are ill-equipped to learn because, fucking Jimmy in the back over here has been picking his nose for the past 2 hours. That motherfucker clearly is failing my exam.
Because he clearly doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing.
He wasn't set up. He wasn't set up for success.
Yeah, he wasn't set. And that's exactly what I mean. Like, these kids, like, they need to know what the right way to succeed is, right? Yeah. And then they need to see that success. They need to see it. They need to see the fruits of their labor, right? Here's the thing. If I know that, hey, repetition is the way to learn. Like 100%, if I want to pass this test, I just got to repeat, and then I do that and I still fail. Guess what is that going to do to my confidence in school?
Fucking decimate that shit in the ground,
It's going to literally destroy it because I put my all in, but hey, you put your all into the wrong basket, You can always practice does not make perfect if you're practicing the wrong fucking thing. It just doesn't.
Well said.
Woohoo! Oh, on to the next. Hey, you didn't hear me knocking? Hey!
Whoa, I'm sorry.
Wow, you're really wired into your work.
Yeah, I'm writing new scripts and topics for the podcast.
Oh my god. You do all of this before every podcast?
I really like to get a good base before I start recording. I'm sort of a perfectionist.
Completely forgot. Introductions. I'm Eduardo.
I'm Mark. You ever do podcasting before?
Yeah, I have in the past. Never got anywhere, though. I just didn't find that $1 million idea to cultivate. My only big break was on TikTok and YouTube. Not to brag, but I'm pretty great at reading algorithms and gathering people's attentions on social media. I just need something to show them.
That sounds perfect.
What?
Yeah, I currently have a podcast. I've got a rock-solid idea of where and what I want to do with it. I'm just having trouble getting it in front of people.
Wow, seems like me and you can really help each other. Kind of like we were meant to be. We're not doing any podcasts today, though, right?
No, they're all set for tomorrow. Gonna be a long night of planning.
Gonna be a long night of rest for me. Don't stay up too long.
I always do. I'm sitting down for this shit.
Okay.
You got me fucked up. Sorry.
How do we fuck up?
No, I'd say you got me fucked up.
I got you fucked up.
Yeah, this
My
was
bad,
great.
man.
I loved it.
Yeah, we just literally had the introductions to our characters. They just met for the first time.
Halfway through the pod and they're finally meeting.
But yeah, this is Mark and Eduardo. If you don't know where it's from, you want to tell them?
It's from The Social Network.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was very obvious from the first transition.
For people who watched.
I would, yeah, for the people who watch the movie, I will stake big money that it's identifiable.
Yeah. Great timing.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, but anyways, this is basically this entire podcast. Really, it's just a homage to The Social Network. I thought their acting in this movie was like really good. I love Andrew Garfield, by the way. Like ever since I saw him at Amazing Spider-Man, it was like this guy's a great actor. I just like he's got like quippiness, he's like he is Spider-Man, so he's got quippiness, and seeing him in this like really rough and tumble role, right, where he's like completely playing a completely different, like a different character. This guy's like business savvy. He's like kind of mean, you know. He's like very serious, you know, serious sense in this. And
driven, I think, might be the better word.
Yeah, maybe driven. So that made me want to kind of the first scene is what made me want to switch up the entire podcast structure completely.
One whole scene did that.
One whole
because we
scene
really
did
did a
that.
lot, right? Like we gotta let, for those who've listened to our previous episodes, like you will know that you didn't hear the counselor in the beginning. You didn't it wasn't the normal introduction where we first meet the characters when they're about to begin creating the podcast. We met the characters way in the future. We're talking about after they've already had this idea that's full blown, whatever, yada yada. And so like my biggest concern was like, all right, we're deviating from the structure. That's fantastic, but we need to create a sense of, you know, where people understand where we're coming from, how we're starting this. So it was a bit of a gamble, but I think this is the right scene to do it with. It was that scene, like even like when you first showed it to me back on YouTube, like, or you know, I saw the movie, but like I need to be reminded of the film, of the scene. Like it's palpable. It's real. It's upsetting, but kind of hilarious at the same time too. Fuck you! I forgot my fuck you flip flops. What?
It really sets a different tone to our podcast than any other ones. Usually, you start with a monologue and then the intro and like nice music, and this one is like completely flipped, where like this is not starting on a good note, and it doesn't even end on a good note. Like this one, we are really going for a completely like serious note here. There's really no comedy. Like it's funny because like our last one was super comedic. Like I like how our podcasts are different. Like each one transition wise is like completely what it, like no one's going to listen to, if someone listens 1 2 3 4 5 6 whatever, right, they aren't going to know what to expect. Like it is so,
that is 100%
unexpected and different. I fucking love it. Like some of it is good, some of it is bad. Like you don't even like know, like, you know, this one might even end up being like our best one, even though it's got like this super serious tone, you know. And the main purpose of this one was specifically to talk about, or for me and Johan to really get into our acting, like really show off our chops.
What's up? What's up? Yo, we took a master class. What's up, bro?
I don't know. Here's the thing. Did we do the best? I don't know. The first scene was good. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done from what I'm noticing. Like the thing that we have to work on and always work on is the scenes that are written by me and don't have, what do you call it, videos in the background, are always on they're always being overshadowed by the scenes that are pulled from a movie, you know.
You could really see the difference between someone who's been writing scripts for a long time, professional, versus where we're currently at right now. Like, and it's not something you really can understand until you start doing it, and then you realize, wow, they actually spend a lot of time in writing these scripts.
And
we're so take that for granted.
And the way like the actors say each line is like so intentional, right? Like the way we film is like we literally just do monologues. Like we just go straight through, right? Meanwhile, in a movie, you have to expect that each line is being basically cut up, right? And that they're doing each take like 100 times, you know. And then we go in and we look at that scene and we're just like, that's easy for us to copy, and we could like, you know, we could do our best at emulating whatever.
Right.
But then when it comes to scenes that me and Johan basically have to use our own brains, and like it kind of comes up short. And it does show in the scene.
I can't believe you did that.
It's just like it really shows that it really shows that, you know, we're not like the best freaking actors, you know. And obviously as a director I could do a lot better, right? And it really is just in that.
But it's also exciting.
Yes,
it's super exciting because now we have a way to bridge the gap where we know what quality script writing sounds like. And so to get to that stage is like, it's an obtainable goal. Like I could see it within our vision
for sure.
But like this is completely pivoting away from everything, but it's like, yo, like, AI is really something, dude, because I'm not gonna lie, like there's writer strikes now and people are concerned about the longevity, and eventually we might live in a world where we don't need to write scripts at a professional level if we have a tool that can already write scripts for us at a professional level.
Yeah.
But fuck that, because I feel like it moves away from the creativity.
For
you know what?
sure.
I think I just answered my own question. I was just about to go on a rant and tirade about how we gotta be worried about AI, but like if you really think about it, I think every script writer has its own unique style and flavor on the way they do things, which, definitely will lend better to different genres than others.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's definitely a journey you're going to have to go through on your own. But,
For sure.
when you figure out that style, no AI is going to come close.
Uh-huh.
They can't generate something new.
Yeah,
they can
can't
only take from what's already been created.
Exactly, 100%. And it could definitely visualizing what the lines are supposed to be like, but also being a little bit more strict with actually recording the lines and stuff.
Bring up this crazy idea where'd you find this from? Where'd you find it from?
Which idea?
Doing the line by line. And
oh yes, like so the newest Spider-Man,
there it is.
The movie. If you watch the Spider-Verse, basically what they do is they like. This isn't just Spider-Verse that does this. It's most animated films or anything. Like their voice actors, what they do is they record each line individually, and they make sure that each line is delivered the right way. And that, I feel like splitting the lines up like that, it just sounds better simply because you have put a lot more thought into each line and have more intention into each line. And not to mention, they already have how many directors and people telling them how to say each line specifically. You're going to be saying it like this, you're going to be doing it like that, and the directors also know how it's supposed to be said, and they hear it, so like it always comes out, so I guess perfectly, and if we want to be at that level, we kind of have to do somewhat of that, especially since we're not that good of actors in the first place, right? It's a lot more difficult, but it's the right step. It's going to take a lot more work, and it's kind of like it helps us to produce better quality content.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's something we should try.
Our goal, I think, is what we really should think about this, because, I mean, me and Horace already decided we're going to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
Our goal is really to, like, have a clear image and style of what we want these transitions to look like, but I don't know if we should focus too much on, like, some mundane skills like audio design or worrying about inflection and things like that, because I think those are best to be deferred to professionals. Like, I think, like just like in One Piece, Luffy can't make it to the One Piece on his own.
Yeah.
He has people with him that helps him every step of the way. He can't cook. He can't navigate, but he has people that's able to do it for them. And that's something that we will eventually move
100%.
towards, where we bring people and team members to this mission of ours.
Yeah.
And so, like, we got to get a basic understanding of all these skills so we know what we need to take away from it, and then bring on the people that can actually help bring this image to life.
Yeah, because when we know what we want, then we can get someone who does it better. And
exactly.
Instead of paying someone haphazardly for someone who's just going to do a shit job because we don't know what a good job is.
Yeah.
We'll actually know what a good sounds like, and we'll be able to find the right people to do the job.
Exactly.
Because we actually know. Not to mention, as a director to act, and for you as someone who's doing all of the editing, you could guide the editor, right? Because you're gonna be like, now what good editing takes. Now you could be like, yeah, I need you to, I don't know what the editing words are here. I'm just gonna make some up.
Cut here, reverb there. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle some magic there.
I need you to up the reverb, lower the inflection, hit that with a googly ga, and fucking put a blue blah here.
I haven't learned how to use the blue blah yet.
Yeah. Anyways, but he'll like Johan will know that, and then the other person will be like, instead of me being like, hey man, I just want you to make it sound better.
Exactly.
Like, what is that gonna do? How does that doesn't help anybody.
Exactly. It doesn't help anybody.
Or me as like a director being like, hey man, I just want you to say the line differently. Oh,
wow,
good one.
Great directing there, bud. Great directing, bud. Yeah, that's our mission.
That is 100% our mission.
We need to be 100% clear on what we want created.
Yeah,
that is our job. No matter how many people are on the team, whether it's just the two of us or there's hundreds of us, we just have to be clear about what we want this to sound like.
Yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah.
me close the door real quick.
For sure.
The story. Let's talk about the story.
Yeah.
Let's really hone in on script writing.
Yeah.
What was? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What was your? What did you want viewers to take away from the story?
What did I want viewers to take away?
Listeners.
Yeah, listeners. That's kind of a tough one. Simply that this one is very dark. You know, I really don't know if I want viewers to take away any lessons from this. You know,
Just
here's
enjoy
thing.
the screaming.
Yeah, it's not. There's not even that much screaming, but this one is more of. This one isn't really learning, but this one is taking away. I guess it is. I guess you can consider that learning. This is showing Eduardo kind of being the main character, but he's also at the same time a bad guy, and his answer and his solution to his problems isn't really the right one. You know, you'll see it by the end that Eduardo kind of just casts away a lot of things. You know, he's not really in the best mental space at the end, and the solution he comes up with, you know, to fix his problems or to not make the same mistake again, honestly, in my personal opinion, isn't the right one. You know, and I don't know if you probably 100% feel the same way.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's
You
like-
can't be like manipulating and lying your way to anywhere because
Exactly.
it's you're building a house on a faulty foundation.
Yeah, but this one is definitely an anti-hero story, right? Like this is fully like this is really getting into like 2020 animes. You know, like we're talking about the Attack on Titans. You know, like the full-on.
So with
like,
the Eren Yeagers.
yeah,
and
this
the
guy's a
fucking-
full-on. Actually, wow, I'm thinking about this now. Why am I thinking of this now? This guy's full on like an Eren Yeager type character, you know.
The only solution is
like-
mass genocide.
that and like he kind of manipulated his way
Yeah.
into this scenario. Like the future is what he made the future. Like he knew this was technically gonna happen, and he got done in by his own. What do you call it? Pride, like literally, like so the main character is not something people should really be looking up to. Obviously, taking away like, hey, yeah, this bad stuff can happen, right? But bad stuff is gonna happen when you start it with a bad intention. Like his intention from the beginning wasn't a good one, you know. So what ended up happening is that he got negative repercussions from his bad intention, you know. And if anything, people should just take away: don't be an Eduardo, and
Don't be an
definitely
Eduardo.
don't be a Mark. You
Listen,
know?
yeah,
don't
Mark
be
isn't-
either. Don't
yeah.
be either, bro.
Mark
They're-
ain't peaches, bro.
Yeah. Mark ain't here.
He
like-
wrote that motherfucker out the company because he
Yeah.
was parading whatever.
Yeah. And in the movie, like they were obviously like Mark and Eduardo was actually Mark's like only friend. Like they kept on
Yeah.
saying that he was his only friend, which is like fucked up, you know, like because especially since Mark talks a lot about not really caring that much about money, right? But the way he speaks, it kind of contradicts what he's saying, you know. Specifically, like, hey, yeah, I could buy out this much stuff, you know, like, yeah, I don't like buy like specifically buying out Mark and taking his money away for his own money. You can't say you don't care about money, you know. And obviously we're a lot more into the future now. We see Mark and Eduardo, these are real people,
Yeah.
right? Like Facebook is a real thing, you know, and both of these guys are billionaires.
Must be nice.
Yeah, but see, no. It's got. I feel like being a billionaire and having all that money has its downsides.
A million
obviously.
percent, a million percent.
Yeah. Like no one's life is perfect. Everyone's still
Nah, man.
goddamn fucking human.
Wealth is just like losing a leg.
Yeah,
It's just a different life experience.
100%.
That's a great way to think about
And even with all that money, you could still implode.
And you have more problems.
Yeah.
More money, more problems.
You didn't get the joke?
Implode?
Yeah.
No.
The submarine?
Nah, that was a stretch.
That was not a stretch.
That was a stretch.
Billionaires imploding? Okay.
You
whatever.
could talk a little lost about getting. You could talk a little bit about getting lost in the sea
Maybe.
of.
They
wealth.
did implode though.
They did implode.
Yeah.
They found the wreckage.
They did find the wreckage.
Okay.
Yeah, but
These are one of the situations in news where I really didn't pay attention to what was happening.
okay.
Because the moment I hear submarine is lost, I'm like, they're dead.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way they're making out of this one.
So
Hello, Apollo.
this was like the deepest. This is like a really deep dive, 13,000 feet down under, right? And if you were to implode down there, what would happen is that the pressure would cause your body to heat up and cook, right? So first of all, you would be instantly like turned into like
Hamburger.
a hamburger. But then obviously when something it collapses in on itself, right? So you have to think of like you've seen those press videos.
Yes, the
Like
hydraulic press.
hydraulic press. You know what happens out like when
They
something
get
gets pressed,
squeezed
it
out,
gets squeezed out, right? So like that's kind of what happened realistically to those people. Like when the thing collapsed in on itself, the submarine, like they would get squeezed out of every orifice or whatever they can, and guess what happens to them? Then they're like part of life.
You know what gets me tight about this news story?
Yeah.
And I know we're not even supposed to be talking about this.
Yeah,
it is
go
time,
ahead.
but I'm gonna say it anyway. People had such negative things to say about the people who went on this journey.
Yeah.
Like most people aren't like regular human beings, and if they had the money, would 100% do this tour where they got the chance to go see the Titanic.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not their fault. They are wealthy. Maybe it is because they worked hard for it, whatever. But why are people so like angry at these people that they died, or they're like good for them? I heard a lot of good for them. You know, that's what they get for spending their money on that stupid stuff.
that just
Bitch, what? Like, yo, why are you jealous of these people?
But
Like,
that-
they're
it's
doing
just-
something that any human being would have done.
it just shows a lot of society. They're just saying they got what they deserve simply
Which
because
is nuts
first of
to
all,
me.
you don't become a billionaire without stepping on a fucking couple of skulls. You know, let's
Maybe.
be completely honest. So like, it really just shows what society's people are like where our minds are at the moment. You know, like a lot of people are literally like they could give two fucks about a billionaire's life, like simply because they know that they're being used and abused, like literally like every single person. Like we're just working for the man, you know, like every billionaire out there is kind of just they're making money by taking money away from the poor, you know, like we're all being paid
Maybe
minimum-
not in every situation.
most
And
situations.
there's many where people are just born into wealth.
yeah
They spend 0 seconds acquiring any money, but they already have tons of it.
Yeah.
So
But,
what
you
about
know,
those
still
people?
their
They
family's
shouldn't feel
wealth.
justified.
Still their family's wealth. Yeah, I still feel bad for it. I feel
I
bad.
feel
for
bad
the
for
kid.
them.
I
They-
feel bad
yeah.
for the 19-year-old kid.
There was a 19-year-old.
Yeah, there was a
See what I
19-year-old.
mean, man?
Exactly. I feel bad for that kid for sure. And the fact that people are jealous of him when it's just like, hey man, this guy. I'm not gonna be jealous of some 19-year-old kid who didn't even live as long as I did. He hasn't even been on the earth as long as I have. You know, probably.
That's
like,
what they get for going on that submarine. Bitch, shut the fuck up, bro. That's a human life.
I guess it's $250K though. You
That's
know?
awesome.
It's fucking expensive.
If I had that money, I'd probably still go and do it.
Yeah, instead of spending it on helping the poor.
World hunger could suck a dick. Alrighty.
Hey, I gotta talk to you about something.
That was a good hit.
Hey, can we talk?
Damn, was that a left cross?
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
Who's Peter?
Did you know our podcast just hit a record high of 10,000
Yes,
listeners?
I know. Who's Peter?
He's our co-host for Faded.
A co-host for Faded? Me and you are co-hosts. I don't want him to represent our company.
Listen, the podcast is moving a lot faster than me and you could have imagined. The knowledge and connection on social media Peter has.
Peter is not a part of this company.
Well, he's getting this podcast to new heights. Meanwhile, you've been in New York.
I've been in New York riding 14-hour subways going to different ad agencies for the company.
And how's that going for you? There's still a part for you in Faded. You're not going anywhere. Now strap back up. Let's go again.
Needs to 100% be like super dramatized. I don't know. Like,
Also, and be a little more clear for the audience. What part needs to be more dramatized?
so we're specifically talking about after the intro, right? There's this specific scene where I have an inner monologue, right? And this is kind of revealing that this entire introduction and me meeting with Mark and everything was completely set up by me, right?
Yeah.
Like the camp has this system where they create partners, and these partners are basically creating podcasts for the week, 15-minute podcasts, right? And I set up the entire partnering system, right? So in the end of the day, the entire reason everything went down and the fact that I got fucked over, it was 100% consequence of my own actions, so that scene needs to 100% be like the center of attention at some it's literally the whole 360. It's like the whole Eren Yeager being the one who told his dad to fucking stab.
Yeah.
What?
It's like the rug. We pulled the rug.
Yeah, pull the rug. But it's literally us finding out that, hey, Eren's actually the one who told his dad to, what do you call it? Kill, like stab himself and get himself killed.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He's literally the one. Like that was such a imperative moment. Like if anything, that is like the moment of Attack on Titan. That's like the whole. It's the plot twist, like you know, and a plot twist need to 100% be like. What do you call it? They need like their own thing. Like it's 100% like fully set up, and it shows so much. It shows the most depth of the character. It shows the most. It literally is. I would say the most important part, right?
Yeah.
So.
What do you think it's missing then for like? I think there's a couple of components.
It's weird to be. What do you call it? Honestly, it's not missing. It's not missing anything that we could do now, right? Specifically because it is. This is like post. Like what the fuck are you gonna do in editing? You know, like
exactly.
I'm
Scripts
just
have been
thinking
written.
like this is something for the future. Specifically, setting up.
There you go.
We've never done a plot twist before.
Yeah.
Setting up plot twists are fucking clearly difficult.
Yeah.
You know, like plot twists are huge. Like it's not something I actually even looked into, like how to set up a plot twist or anything. It was just something like, to be honest, for the first try, fucking fire. I think I did fucking fire.
Well, I think what we need to take note of is this is what they do in comedy and this is what they do in magic.
Yeah.
Where it's all about deception for a second. It's like we have to get the audience focused on something.
Yeah.
Or like the setup for us. In this case, I think we could have focused more on setting up like how kind he really is, like how kind Eduardo really is.
Yeah.
For then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? Like he actually planned this from the beginning. Like it's like in order to deceive somebody or to do the deception or to get the good laugh, we have to believe that we have to make them believe something. And then pull the 180. And I don't think we have them believing in Eduardo yet as like someone who's just a driven, kind person in order for the payoff for the rug pull to actually have any weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. And, the only thing I can think of like editing wise is literally like a dun, like, you know.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like,
That's
which
it.
is like
does it.
really like that's the only thing I'm thinking of, which is like kind of cringe. Maybe, you know, like it might be something that we might need to like at least like.
I mean, Oda does it in all anime, so
yeah, it might be something we kind of want to try, you know, simply because we need that to be impactful, and like we don't have that whole like in an anime, right? If we're thinking of anime, like you'd see like a big like time pause, like time would just pause, right? And it would be a still frame where like it's maybe like zooming out with like the characters' faces in like absolute shock or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's like what it would be. So like there needs to be some either like audio cue to tell people that this was a plot twist, you know, because people aren't going to notice, you know? So there either is like, like an audio cue, or maybe there is that spacing, you know? Because spacing creates drama. You know, so maybe in that monologue, there's a lot more like spacing between the lines a little bit, you know, specifically when I'm talking. Like,
I spent a lot of time trying to think about that because like I saw your intentions in the script when you had like saying, man, it must have been fate that we met up, although it wasn't fate. Like I
exactly.
see what you're trying to do.
That is like the way I say that isn't fate. Like that's the first one that should be like. Boom. Yeah. Like there should be a boom. Like, you know, like not, I don't know if that's cringe or anything, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that wasn't fate. Like that needs to like hit, you know, that first one needs to hit. I set up the partnering system. That needs to hit. Like, you know, like those two lines
That's the climax, baby.
Yeah. That is literally the climax of a story. Like it needs to fucking hit, you know, and there's either like, spacing or the big dunes or those two.
I think it's all of it. It's also with the setup as well.
Yeah.
Like we gotta be clear where the rug pull is,
Yeah.
so that right before it and everything stores, we're just laying clues
I
to
feel
try
like
to get the audience.
I feel like the clues were laid pretty like.
They were there, and it was clear
because
within
it's
the
an intro.
transition.
Yeah.
It was clear in that transition.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that there were. I guess it's the only opportunity, right? Because that was the only opportunity.
And the intro is only a few lines in the
Yeah.
first place. Like that. Like I think intro wise, the way it was set up was the kind of maybe like the best I could have done it, just because like without breaking the structure even more and pushing it further back. You know,
Listen.
adding another scene before. You know, that's really the only other thing I could have done was add another, like maybe switch the icebreaker in the intro or something. You know, maybe, and that's like a big maybe because what do you call it? Like literally, there is like we are talking about setup, but there's no time for the setup. So like. Obviously just saying, hey, it could have been fate that we met up, saying stuff like that line, and also also putting in the Chris thing right before where the counselor talks and he goes, yeah, the part you're gonna be given a specific partner and blah 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 blah, and having that. So it's like, yeah, that stuff is there, right? But what else can we do to really imply that, hey, this is a big moment, you know, this is a big
I want to go back to the what we could do editing wise.
Yeah.
Like if we could have a sound bank that's like that you already are aware these are like the 6 or 7 sounds we're going to use to kind of describe any kind of emotion we want to elicit at that moment. Like if we want our characters to be joyous, you'll always hear this joyous sound.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a plot twist, you'll always hear the plot twist sound. That's Oda uses the same like 10 sound effects.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really Oda, but the team that makes anime come alive.
Really not just Oda. It's like literally every anime has like
they set sounds that are that always come back. It's reoccurring. They don't need to pick new sounds because everyone who's already been who's been a fan already knows that. Listen, if you hear the sound, that means that this guy's a bad guy. You know, and I don't think it's cringe as long as we choose original sounds and we're just consistent with the original sounds.
The only reason I'm saying cringe is because we are not an anime. We might need to look into shows a little bit more because you're forgetting that the shows that do use that sound. I don't know if you've ever seen those Indian Bollywood Desi show
not really.
Compilations of like super dramaticness.
Like,
they have like those cuts where like they'll like slap somebody and there'll be like 7 different angles and it'll go doom 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 doom,
and the girl's still falling and the train's still approaching.
Yeah, and it's like fucking extended 30 fucking times.
And the guy all on the other side of the train platform starts running and somehow magically makes it just in time.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I've seen those clips.
Super dramatized that's not American, you know. And not to first of all, that stuff works in Bollywood. Like it literally, like they like it like that. The reason that they keep on doing it is because that's how they like their drama. They like it over exaggerated. I feel like it's kind of the same in Hispanic dramas as well, right?
Oh yeah, bro.
Right?
Like, but that one it's a lot more like it's just like absurd things happen.
Yes.
And,
I think that's what it is.
And I don't. Spanish dramas don't worry about plot as so much as they care more about drama.
Yeah.
So they'll make the plot so unbelievably stupid just so drama happens.
Yeah, that's. I'm just thinking about that one Modern Family episode where like they had to go to the hospital, where Mitch and Cam had to go to the hospital to get their baby, right? Like they were trying to get a new baby, right? And what do you call it? They go to the hospital to go get this new baby, but then the mom is there or something. Like the grandmother's there and she's Hispanic, and then they start having and then the doctor comes over and he's like the super hot guy, right? And he just starts kissing the daughter, apparently. Like,
and then Gloria's, Mitch is like, "What's happening?" And Gloria's trying to like translate for him.
Translate, exactly. And it's just like, it's like all. And then there's like a second husband that comes in who's like even better looking than the doctor, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening?
So then we got to really ask ourselves, what style do we want?
We are
doing American audience.
That's what I'm saying. So like we have to really get what kind, how is
fuck Americans,
how
bro.
is drama portrayed in American films and stuff, and how do we copy that? Because we're not Japanese, we're not Hispanic, and
I'm writing it down.
We're not Bollywood. You know, like those three are like each culture has their own different way of portraying drama, right? And while we only have a little bit of time left, I really do want to talk about this boxing scene. First of all, done fucking amazingly. I really like this one. It was done very well. The sounds, dude, the editing was really perfect. The really is there's I have no complaints editing wise. I just have complaints for like how short the scene was. I feel like the scene could have been a little longer. I don't know how long it is. It's like under a minute.
Under a minute, yeah.
Yeah, it's under a minute. It's a pretty short scene. Definitely extending that a little bit longer, maybe. I know why I made it short is specifically because I wanted it to be between rounds, and obviously both of the characters are exhausted, and after like one big outburst, that's really all they would have in them, right? And and extending it obviously would need its reasons, but I feel like everything that needed to be portrayed was portrayed, right? But it being like our last scene, I wanted it maybe a little bit longer, maybe adding a little bit more. Wouldn't have been a bad idea.
I think a great place to extend it would have been for us to like drown out the action. I found a new software that like is great for like copyright music and sounds.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send it to you. I highly recommend you look through all the music that they have and all the sound effects that they have.
Yeah.
The sound effects are kind of slacking. I did like Soundly a little bit better, but they have a lot of copyright music that's copyright-free music that could be useful in storytelling.
Yeah.
Maybe even where we could find some sounds. But to choreograph this thing was like a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to find sounds that I kind of somewhat liked and I kind of stitched them together.
Yeah.
And then like the clip of me falling is like literally a clip from a YouTube video of two random fighters that like it just sounded good enough where there wasn't enough screaming from the audience outside that it made it work. So
yeah.
In the future, if we want to do something like this, we need to literally choreograph it and record it ourselves.
Yeah.
Like on the day of recording, if we want to do like boxing or something like that, it's a little more complicated. We have to make the recordings. We have to make the sounds because it's the only way we could extend it and make it like how we want it to sound.
Yeah, but the sporting is always limited to like the first, what do you call it? 10, 15 seconds of the clip. And it's specifically always, I feel like it's always going to be like that. Just showing that, hey, we were doing this sport, but now it's like monologue. You know, like it always goes little sport, like the arrow scenes or like the pool, the ping pong scene.
Yeah, they're short.
It's always been like a little 15 seconds, 10 seconds of just showing that, hey, we were doing this sport, but now straight into monologue, you know? Because once again, we're not in anime where like Blue Lock, where you fucking get the ball and all of a sudden have a 3-sentence line where like everyone is just for some reason stopped, or like you have a full-on conversation
while I'm holding the ball.
While I'm holding the ball, like the time is ticking. Hello, is no one gonna like
my opportunities?
I'm telling you, like,
it's so stupid. That's why it gets me so tight with enemies.
It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna stop the ball. Oh, I noticed that you were gonna step in there. You like what I just did? Yeah, I'm not gonna go to the right. I might go to your left. You're gonna go to my left? Hell no! I dare you to go to my no.
This wasn't in my plan when I calculated this.
It's like
I must pivot and kick with my foot.
So yeah, we're not an anime, so obviously all of our monologues and our long talking bits are going to be outside of the sport. The sport is just there in the beginning, and like I feel like the amount of talking we had in here, because let's be honest, after 3 sentences of punches, we're not gonna keep on talking. Like there's no way like at some point one of us is gonna be like, hold on, what, can we like just talk about this? Like we're not gonna keep on going with back and forth with punches in between lines.
Definitely. It just
doesn't.
Good, I'm glad it's still short then, and which will even
short.
be better than when we actually like physically do it and reenact it, because at least now it'll sound even like, I'm glad you liked it, but it'll sound even better if we actually recreated it.
Even
if it's short, amazing, whatever, I love it. Let's actually like these are the small details that I want us to like really hone into.
Yeah, depending on the sport,
like
every sport is different. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do for arrows? Like, fucking start shooting arrows,
bro. I know a guy who's got a bow. I know, and he's right down the motherfucking street.
Yeah.
So we chilling.
Did arrows?
Oh, God, yeah. So pick a new sport. I don't know.
Fucking,
we'll find it, man.
Like if the next one is zip lining, what do you want to do there? You know, like these are not always sports; they're activities.
So
right?
as we're winding up, is there anything you want to add to this podcast? Do you feel like is there anything that like we dropped the ball a little bit that we want to focus on for next time?
Yeah. The next one is completely different. Right now, we are more focusing on trying new things other than focusing on the nitty gritty of the small stuff. So the next one is fully improv. So everything that we learned here, everything that we're talking about is kind of not going to apply. Same as the one that we did last week, which was talking about delivery of jokes, right? Like that didn't apply for this podcast at all. So it's the same thing for this one. All of the for dramatic scenes, the one thing I would say is dramatic scenes need to be longer. That's why our rivalries have always been our longest scenes. I don't know if you've noticed, they've had the longest monologues. They've been our longest scenes. They've been the most talking. Every single rivalry has. Simply because it's a dramatic scene. Dramatic scenes need to have more length. They need to have more meat and depth to them, right? So if we're doing an episode like this or a season like this, each episode should have that depth and meat, simply because each episode is meant to be dramatic. So it needs, even so that would mean that the intro would need to be long. Like, even though it was 5 lines it's always been 5 lines, but this time it would need to be maybe like another 10, 15, and that includes the sport one, which is always short. There's not that much talking. Add a lot more, simply because it's a different,
it's a different beast.
Drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Drama needs to be.
Drama's a whole other beast in comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We can mix the two, but if we're doing one specific genre, then we're gonna have to stop all the stops now. So that's important. And moving forward, we're gonna do another drama one. So like, we're gonna write that down for next time. That we'll increase the lengths for these.
Yeah.
Is there a movie reference that maybe the audience could watch ahead of time before next episode?
No.
Oh, okay. You guys are asked out. This is all original, baby. Maybe a show? Like, where are we getting these improvisational ideas from? From Sunny.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So, guys, watch some Sunny. You know what I'm saying? Might help you out for the next episode. I kind of like that. Maybe, like, at the end of an episode, talk about, like, what our inspiration for next episode is going to be like. So, if they want to be a part of it, then they could also watch it a little bit.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, without giving them a lot.
Yeah.
And it'll leave the first-time listener for that episode obviously in the dark because they didn't listen to the previous episode.
Yep.
It's for the diehards, for the
real
real
ones.
ones.
Work.
Yeah. So watch some Sunny episodes. That's your homework. Congratulations. This is how you're actually going to cement our ideas in your head. Remember, we talk about the learning process?
Yeah. All right. We should do our outros.
Oh, yeah, outros.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah. It's been faded. And we're back to the present. I'm still struggling in my legal battles with Faded. That company left a deep scar on me that will probably never recover. I was young. I was optimistic. But I was neglectful. That's why I went out of my way to start a podcast with Mark. But I'm going to have to change my mindset. The world isn't as bright as I thought it was. People aren't always as nice as they seem. Some people just want to use and abuse you. And it's not going to happen to me again. Learn from me. Don't make the same mistakes I did. When in a business, friendship always comes second. Because anyone can and will turn on you when they get a better offer. I'm done putting my faith in people. I'm going to walk the lonely road from now on and make a name for myself. By myself. It's too late to turn this shit around. So don't try and tell me that you're happy for me now.